Back to Precision Trader University. In this video today, we're going to cover some live trades that we took in the market today using the #1 indicator in the stock market, which is the order book, specifically Bookmap. Bookmap gives us a beautiful heat map of the liquidity in the market, the buyers and sellers looking to be filled in the market. Crash course here. The orange, whenever you see orange and red, that signifies significant levels of liquidity, major liquidity. So how do you interpret that? Well, ultimately for our strategies, we use 3 high probability Bookmap strategies to take advantage of this major liquidity. Now, understand major liquidity, differentiates based on the price. Because again, if you zoom in, when you zoom in a lot, you can see a lot more liquidity. And then when you zoom out, get on these bigger price increments, you're going to see less liquidity. And then it clears it all up. Now you can see where the major levels are. And for the most part, that's what our strategies are based around. Finding these major levels of liquidity that we can see on the $5 increments and using one of 3 strategies to take advantage of those levels. So with that said, we have over 1,000 trades, using our strategies in our server. Entries, exits, screenshots. Go there, look, study them, learn from them, and take advantage of that. So anyway, so like I said, I just want to cover what we went over today, and then also what we played today. Also at the end of the video, for members, I'm going to go over some of SPY ES for today, just to give you a good quick little lesson on how you could have used the indicators from the course to take advantage of SPY and ES today, because of course we know SPY ES turns the market. So with that said, let's jump back into Tesla here. Now, with that said, as you can see on the $5 increments, 305, the 305 area, 305, 306 was your monster level for the day. Now, it's kind of a unique day. 300 being a $100 increment, usually you're going to see significant liquidity sitting at that 300 level. But for some reason today, they really didn't have monster liquidity set on it. So what we did was we took advantage of our push-through strategy. So simply put, our push-through strategy, we're looking for it to get to major liquidity. And again, we know there's going to be major buying and selling at 300. Okay. So we took the push-through strategy. So what we were looking for was we were looking for the market to push on average $1 through that major liquidity. So in this case, 300. So our entry was set right here for 301. So we're looking to get in, take advantage of shorting SPY on this push through of this major liquidity here, because what we know is when they push through major liquidity, they're going to come back and retest on that liquidity. It's not a matter of if, it's when. So it gives us a very, very high probability of success. So played here at 301. We also played at 306. We'll get to that in a minute. So what proceeds to happen? Well, we get to 300. They pull it back a little bit. Nothing too crazy, a dollar or so, $1.50. And then they finally push back up into this 301 liquidity here. And we can see from there, like I was saying in voice chat, I reminded ones in voice chat, hey, that they are not going to hold above 300 without significant selling. This little sell here, that was okay, but like I said, significant selling, yeah, that's a good $3 to $5 dump. That's when you got some real selling on your hands there. So what proceeds to happen? We get up to the 301, and you can see this candle right here. Now, again, I didn't even expect it to dump this quick. So gets to 301, and this thing immediately dumps down to 297.50-ish. Okay, from there, we were out. Yeah, take runners, get out of there, because anytime you have a really quick dump like that, they're going to recover it. Usually about 50% of the move. And sure enough, they did. They pushed it back up to 300, and then from there they end up dumping it all the way down to 296, right around 296, and then they recover, start recovering it from there. Once they push back up, they push through 301, they get support on it. Because again, at this point, we have another strategy that comes into effect here, is our momentum strategy. So we know that whenever they finally push through a major level here, which in this case was 301, they push through it, pull back, get support on that area, support, where they wanted to go, the next major level of liquidity. And of course, 305 was the first and biggest liquidity level for the day. So is it surprising that they got there? Of course not. We know the market gravitates. It's literally like gravity pulling in to all that major liquidity. Because again, market makers want to keep the market moving. So they want to move to where there's a lot of orders to be filled. So in this case, they finally push it up here to 305. Now, again, we're tempted to send it out for 305. But again, with yesterday, how volatile the market was and crazy, again, we took the better to be safe than sorry approach on this entry. Because again, we didn't want to be in a situation where the market just, popped really hard or something like that. Because again, whenever the markets, SPY fell what, $22, $23 yesterday. So anyway, we don't want to be in a situation where computers just, do something crazy. So we want to protect ourselves. So taking the entry here, okay, to 306. That's, for me, that's free money. I've just never seen a situation on the push through strategy where it pushed through and it didn't come back and test the major liquidity. In this case, 305. It's every single time. Never seen it not happen. So with that said, the money back to 305 was absolutely free money. And of course, from there, it ends up dumping all the way back to 303. So with that said, got out of there, encouraged ones to, to take that profit. But with that said, told ones if they were wanting to hold a runner for a bigger move, the 300 to 301 was a smart area to take advantage of holding a runner portion back there. And again, all this has, screenshots on all this. So like I said, feel free to go to the server and verify all that. So with that said, we finally get our dump into 300, actually into the 299s. So that worked out quite nicely on Tesla today. Again, our 301 and our 306 push through entries. Now, as far as on the chart, what could you have got from using the chart? Because again, these entries, you could have made these entries simply based off the liquidity in Bookmap. But again, I love to be able to see what liquidity is on the charts as well. Because again, all the indicators that we have on our chart, everything from the Precision Indicator Course they are all high liquidity areas, whether it be the moving averages, the big, six very important moving averages we use from different time frames to all be on one chart at one time, whether that's our, our algo levels, which are, computer-based calculations, trading, buying and selling off these would be these turquoise lines, stuff like this. And these fainter color lines for some, less significant algos there. Again, we know there's going to be major buying and selling off of these levels. So again, understanding where they're at can give us an idea of, where we're going to look, especially whenever you're looking to, get into some shorter term trades during the day. So for example, Tesla starts the day here, lots of liquidity right here, some major algos, major moving averages all in this area. It gets on top of there, starts getting support, and then bam, straight up to this area, major moving average, major algos. They get support, great sign. Where do they want to go? Our next major level here, big algos in this area. Because again, we know that they love to push just in the same way they love to push the liquidity, in the order book. They love to push to these major algos and also to these major moving averages, especially whenever we can get them all close together. So this was a prime example right here. We had a major moving average, major algo, support on it. Bam. That's great confirmation. And then finally, we get that really, really good pullback on our 301 entry into here. And where do they pull it right back to? Right to this major moving average and the algo. Again, if they're going to reverse the market, this is a prime spot. Anytime that I can have algos lining, multiple algos lining up, algos and major moving, that's ideal spots for reversals in the market. So with that said, they eventually end up pushing up. They got it up to had another algo here at 303.30. And as you can see there, they struggled at this thing. Again, there's always going to be buying and selling at these major algos. And then finally they get up, they get support on it. They absorb in the order book. We see that they finally absorbed that 303 level, 303, 301, all that stuff. And they got support on it, which ultimately is what was able to get them up here to this this 306. Look, there's actually an algo there. They pushed it right pretty much to the penny there at 305.97. So with that said, the the indicators definitely gave us some nice insight as well. So anyway, so that'll do it for the Bookmap portion of this video. Hope that helped you. Like I said, in today's example, we yeah, it was nice taking advantage of the push through strategy, to say the least. So anyway, so that'll do it for this section. This time I'm going to go in for members. I'm going to go into just a quick overview of our SPY ES for the day. So see what we could have learned and benefited from on our SPY and ES. So, because again, as we all know, gentlemen, ladies, that the SPY and ES turns the market. So with that said, it doesn't matter if you're on the SPY or ES, the candles are going to be exactly the same. So remember we talked about it in voice chat, if you were in voice chat this morning, but if you weren't in voice, just a good reminder here, we got it in our trading rules. Anytime you see a concentration of indicators in one area, 10 plus indicators in one area, you know that is, again, every single one of these indicators have, significant amounts of liquidity on them. But when you combine them, now you get a monster level. And we know that when you have a monster level of liquidity, the market loves to chop inside of it. And then whenever it gets outside of it, $1 to $2, what do they love to do? They love to drag it right back into it. So with that said, we see that's exactly what happened for the morning. Chopping all in this range. We didn't want to mess with it. Finally, they dump it where they dump straight down here to the double algo. And then from there, bam, they pop it up, give us a nice V, nice tight V. Our ignition candles. If you're not familiar with them, the ignition candles, these are the ones with a little signal on them. We know that anytime we get these, institutions are buying big time. I mean, people with a lot of money. This is to make these kind of candles. This is not just, yeah. So again, where these candles are at, again, where are we looking for these ignition candles? One, we love to see them, after a hard drop, ignition, and we also like to see them after we come back and consolidate, and then for, what they call a bull flag there, consolidation, a bull flag or something like that, or just a sideways consolidation and break out of that area. Bam. That's where we really like to see those candles like that. So with that said, we come down here $2, bam, we suck right back into it. What happens here? They get on top of this area. Because again, what do I like to do whenever I have an area when I got 10 plus indicators in one area? Honestly, for me, like I always say, I like to draw a line around it. I like to draw, because again, this is telling me this area right here is going to be a lot of chopping back and forth. So now we see here it popped $1 out of it to the upside. And what happens? They suck it right back in. So another thing I pointed out in voice chat, for the first 3 hours of the day, this right here, 9 out of 10 times, this is what you're going to get. Now, later in the day, when volume gets a little bit lower and, there's less resistance in the market, they can get some, they can push away from these levels, an area like this easier. But the first 3 hours of the day, when there's a lot of go back and forth, it's very difficult for that. So anyway, so that's why, honestly, we didn't want to trade SPY anywhere up into this. This was way too much congestion. So with that said, finally, later in the day, they finally get up underneath that and then end up jumping all the way down here to this 391.08-ish algo into that area. They pop it hard, and from there they just into the end of the day they just run it. Oh, and who would have thought they run it right back up into that area. So anyway, so that was SPY for the day. Like I said, pretty textbook for the most part as far as what we're expecting there. Just a little point out on yesterday. We know that was our big dump day, and really, we took advantage of this 398 area right here, got our nice pop off of that. And then for the, that really was the only trade we took earlier in the day. We did try to mess around, try to catch a little bounce in the last hour of the day, kind of like, what happened today in the last hour. that quick, what did it end up popping here? Quick $4 pop. Yeah, $4 pop. Well, we were trying to catch that yesterday, but no, they institutions killed it into the close, and they popped it a little bit, but it wasn't like today. It wasn't like today. So anyway, with that said, more times than not, you're better off not trading the last hour of the day. Yeah. You'll keep a lot of money in your pocket if you avoid the last hour. If you're going to play the last hour of the day, play small and focus on ignition candles, trying to catch, something that's, giving you some ignition and hopefully give you some follow through stop loss just on the other side, other side of your ignition candle. So, but yeah, yesterday, a lot of people got hurt yesterday. So like I said, by us, being cautious, like I said, we waited, when everybody else was in here trying to buy the dip, we didn't want to have anything to do with it. Again, especially when we got into this big algo gap here, definitely didn't want to touch it. And then we finally get down here to this, the 398 algo and also some major moving average in this area. Like I said, got a high probability pop off of that. So with that said, that'll do it for this education video. If any of the members have questions on anything, feel free to let me know. And if you can, please get into voice chat trading. Like I said, we go over a lot of education there, especially in your first 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours of the day. We go over stuff, give one's opportunities to ask questions. We'll look at any charts you need to. Of course, we're always streaming Bookmap. Anyway, so just a great time to learn and really refine your trading using the knowledge that we have for you. So anyway, with that said, thank you for watching the video and enjoy the rest of the evening.